Is it somebody right on my call? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Now, before I hop right into the video, let me just give a round of applause and Benny Blanco and give props to both Benny and Selena, their props to their podcast that they are doing together. Well, actually, Selena was a guest star. It's really Benny's podcast. However, you know how it goes. You know, it's one of those things of who's really the podcaster, and like some people are out here. But before I get into that, congratulations to Selena and Benny for their podcast, Friends Can Keep Secrets. Is that the name of it? Hold up. Friends Keep Secrets podcast. Congratulations to them on that. However, sadly, what has happened was people are overshadowed by Benny Blanco's feet, allegedly, and is calling strong divorce rumors. They're just like, please, Selena Gomez, get your mind straight and divorce Benny. Why are you dating somebody so filthy? And allegedly, Benny Blanco has been quoted. I have this quote here about taking showers. He said, I'm really clean, but I don't shower every day. And people are using that line as a proof. They're just like, see, proof that this man is dirty. So because of that, next thing he continues saying in this interview is, some people I know shower 2 to 3 times a day, but I feel like the oils on your skin don't have the time to rejuvenate and get juicy. So because of that, he likes to be in his naturalness, and that made me think and wonder, because the name of Friends Keep Secrets, the main thing that he wants is an unfiltered show that's raw, that's real, uncensored, talk about anything you want, and just 2 friends or anybody having time, laughing, kikiing, discussing, and having conversations. So I'm like, okay, Benny Blanco is all about being natural, raw, and authentic, true to yourself. So I'm like, okay, I like that. He admits that he's clean to a certain extent, but he admits that he is clean, and he was just recently on the Jimmy Kimmel show, along with his best bud, who is a co-star, along with his wife on the Friends Keep Secrets podcast, Little Dicky. Yeah, that's his stage name, Little Dicky. However, his name is Dave. But his friend Dave was on the Jimmy Kimmel show with him. And they made a joke and was talking about their wedding with him and Selena Gomez, but I'll get to that. But really just the fact that Benny took his shoes off on live stage and showed the audience that he does indeed have clean feet. Lo and behold, that this man does take showers. However, he feels as though he's having to combat the hygiene rumors, and because of that, what he is doing on social media is posting pictures of his beautiful wife, Selena Gomez, in his words. And because of that, he's like saying that I love my wife loves me. Selena Gomez has even came out and said that she loves Benny Blanco even more. So because of that, it's like, what are the fans trying to do? Why are fans trying to it almost feels like, what are fans trying to do to always break this up? But you know what, they probably feel as though that's the internet's always going to talk and have something to say. However, I just want to pull some cards, because all that being said, I want to know, Benny, are you being authentic with your like true antics? Because you want to be raw, you want to be unfiltered. So does that mean being, I don't want to say disgusting by like farting. I mean, even though farting is natural, and I totally get the like, I don't get the dirty feedback. I like understand how people will like be about that. And Dave, who is his best friend and was there, said that it just happened to be a lot of people tracking back and forth with producers, and because of that, that made the floor unusually dirty that particular day that they were recording, and that's why he had dirty feet. So because of that, there are some reasons that could potentially be why. If you have hardwood flooring, if he had carpet, I'm sure we wouldn't have seen that at all. Hey, who knows? He could even have some like stoning or something like that. So tile can even be dirty. So because of that, those are just like, we got to think about what type of flooring too can collect dust more than just wood and carpet. So because of that, I just wanted to put that little 2 cents out there too. But I just want to know, is Benny being really authentic with his antics and behaviors on the camera, or is this just to play up the unfiltered content just to get views, even though he states that he wants to be a podcast that is more, that brings a new flavor? Hold up, I liked what it said. Hold up, let me pull it up real quick, guys. He wants a podcast that is, he wants a podcast that's more authentic. Yes, that's where I had gotten my word. That's more authentic than the standards that we have now, where everybody's so polished, so clean, so perfect. And Benny Blanco's just like, why don't we get dirty? Why don't we get disgusting? Why don't we talk about the things that nobody wants to talk about? And it's just like, okay, so are you trying to play up that, or is this really who you are behind scenes? And now that you are on a podcast, we're seeing more of it. So because of that, that's why I want to pull some cards today to see if Benny is truly authentic with his with what he's in, the direction that he's going with this podcast. Oh, the card that wanted to flip out, which is a very fitting card to flip out, is the High Priestess. So let's just see what is blocking this High Priestess. I don't usually pick a block, but I'm just curious today. The Queen of Swords. Interesting. A lot of feminine energy. Let's see what's at the foundation. The Chariot. I see why I picked a block card. Let's see the past. The Four of Swords. Okay. Let's see what's above the head. The King of Swords. Oh, that's interesting. The King of Swords is above the head, but the block card is the Queen of Swords. So there's some opposition with the partners. And we know who that is. And we know who Queen is. I'm just saying. And let's see what the future is. Ooh, Karma, which is the Judgment card. I almost forgot what it was. So the Judgment card, which is honestly very fitting. I want to pull card what the Judgment could be, but I feel like if I read the story, I'm going to find out, because this Judgment card, I just have to jump ahead real quick into the future. It's going to say that with his, time will tell if he's truly being authentic with his actions on camera. Like, you know how sometimes they say it's too soon to tell. It's too soon to tell if he is being truly authentic. He could be this, but he could be playing it up for the cameras. So let's dig a little bit more deeper to see how this is, because for this to be his future, there's a determination of if this podcast or if this behavior is going to continue. And depending on how the cards read out here will tell me if this will persist or not. What I see here is the High Priestess. And that's like the shadow side, if you want to think about it. But it's the side of like, it's the inner self. It's like the inner side of yourself. Sometimes the side of yourself that you don't want to acknowledge and like others don't even know about. So it's like the stark, secret, hidden things of yourself. And that's what I'm seeing here for Benny Blanco. That when it comes to this podcast, this is him really taking a step out there. He already knows he's a bit eccentric out there with his mentalities and his mannerisms and the way he appears. So because of that, yes, he plays up into that as well, but also at the same time, it's something within inside of himself that he's still working through and processing through. Even though he looks like he got it all together, we still see that within inside of himself there is still some things that maybe could help with his self-confidence. However, being more himself, and who knows, maybe being with Selena Gomez could have brought that side out of him, because he brings that side out in her where she wants to be more herself, and then they come together as they be more themselves. They both fall in love with each other even more because they're starting to feel more and more comfortable. So more and more you start shedding the illusions and shedding who you are. However, I see the block card here is the Queen of Swords, and like I said, right here, right now, up in his head is the King of Swords. So he being the High Priestess, but also just in this present moment being the King of Swords, and then having the block being his partner in opposition, Selena Gomez, as the Queen of Swords. As the block card, I see as though, no, it's not the fact that she is turned off or disgusted by what Benny is doing, but maybe as though, Benny, could you not just dump it all out there like that? Could you roll it out a little bit more smoothly, be a bit more strategic? Don't give them too much, but just give them a little. You know how the people are, kind of thing. You know, kind of like a protective mama bear thing. And, you know, also it makes her look bad too, a little bit too. And she's getting the huge backlash. And Benny up here like, listen, I'm being myself. I'm trying to be me, but I can't be me and also suppress myself at the same time just because everybody wants to judge you for just me being me. You know who I am, what I'm about, and you loved me. So why is there going to be like a switch up? Not saying that Selena's trying to switch up, but that's that kind of block of this backlash is kind of almost try to put a muzzle on him, and it's almost like a slight block or problem in their relationship at this point. That's why they're out here trying to do damage control, because now they have to prove even more and double down that they're in love. And because of that, it's like, why do we have to continue proving to everybody that we love each other? But outside of that, why is it that every time that Benny Blanco maybe tries to really be himself, that something tries to shut him down? So that's why he got a podcast. That's why he's gotten somebody that's in the industry that's like him, thinks like him, has some humor with him and Dave / Little Dicky have similar personalities. I could see him and Benny Blanco being friends. If you haven't listened to Little Dicky's music, listen to Little Dicky's music, especially Pillow Talk. If you haven't heard that, and Earth is a good one, because that one's a really good positive message about saving planet Earth. But I digress about the positivity that Little Dicky can bring to the music industry and the world. So because of that, for him and Benny Blanco to be this close, and then for Benny Blanco to be married to Selena Gomez, it's like this huge click of just love, positivity, energy. And when negative vibes try to come up against that, it messes up the vibes. Like I said, it should be a great moment in time that we should be celebrating that Benny Blanco is out here having a tremendous podcast. As I was saying, so it's like this tremendous moment, and we should be celebrating that Benny Blanco is out here having a podcast, trying to make tremendous moves out here in the podcast by being more real and more authentic. Yet everything that he's doing is being overshadowed by this. So the negativity is outweighing the positives. And because of that, it's like, Are we going to keep doing this? Like how it's that kind of friction of we're going to have to take a pause and a moment, because that's also what the high priestess is all about, thinking and processing and planning before moving forward and ahead. And that's exactly how Benny Blanco feels at this very moment. It's almost like a conviction in a way. And I feel like that's what this judgment in the future is saying, that he's going to eventually going to have to choose whether he's going to be truly authentic, or be authentic enough for the cameras, that's enough for the audience that doesn't turn them off. So you know how it is. It's like being authentic with censorship. So are you truly authentic? However, we see down here at the very bottom, at the foundation is the Chariot, and the Chariot is all about trying to move forward, but something keeps pulling you back, or sometimes you're trying to run away from your past. So I still see here, I wasn't trying to mention it earlier, but I see something here that this, and it all stems from the high priestess. The high priestess and the Chariot would definitely go hand in hand, because that high priestess is going to have to go deep in and maybe deal with some deep, like, inner traumas, childhood traumas. This podcast could be something healing for him. Yet, because you know how it always goes when you're doing something really positive and really good, then there just happens to be negative things that just come up against it more. And that's what I feel like it is here with Benny. Like he was just, yes, I'm getting my answer that he was being authentic, a little too authentic, even for Selena Gomez, but she loves him anyway. But it was just like, can we turn it down a notch? And Benny's like, that's bringing back up my past, where I'm always asked to turn it down a notch. What if I don't want to turn it down a notch? When do I move past wanting to please other people? That's what I'm kind of getting. But we see here in the past, weirdly enough, talking about the past, is the Four of Swords, which is usually about taking a sabbatical, but taking a mental sabbatical to think. However, we still see that he is paused. Now, before he even did this podcast, he really sat, paused, thought about it, probably had conversations with Selena Gomez. And, Selena Gomez was definitely behind it. She supports her boo thing, her man, right? So because of that, she was supportive for this Friends Keep Secret podcast. And Benny Blanco's a little bit unpredictable. That's what she loves about him. So because of that, she's not going to stop him from being himself. But it was kind of like a jarring, oh wait, I loved it, I laughed at it, I enjoyed it, but it was just like kind of catching off guard of being too real. You know how Selena's all poised, perfect, always well put together, and then it's like Benny is like her complete opposites. But they say opposites attract. So because of that, everybody on the internet is saying, why does Selena Gomez marry Benny Blanco? But anyway, they make their differences work, where she's strong, and where he's weak, she's strong, and where she's weak, he's strong, and they're able to play off of each other, and that's what makes them stronger as a couple moving forward. However, so I'm still seeing some positiveness, that even with all this energy that's going around with his podcast and him being himself, we still see, I'm gonna pull some cards, but I see that I see that there might be a change in direction, whether he continues to be himself or whether he tones it down just a little bit. I don't think he's going to apologize, and if he does, well, but it's just, the show's just starting. It was literally the pilot episode. But let's just pull 3 cards to pull and see, is Benny Blanco's antics truly authentic and not just played up for the camera? We're getting it's authentic, for sure. But I haven't gotten down to, is it played up for the cameras and he's just being extra? Okay, interesting. My cards want to split in a particular way. The first card that stuck out to me was the darkness card, so I will have to put that first. Thank you, Mama Crone. The second, sorry guys about that, but the second card that fell, okay, the second card that fell on the floor, just like Mama Crone just fell on the floor, was the hot card. And I see that there's hot temper and hot energy, but I'm just going to pull 2 more cards since this deck decided to split itself on its own. So I'll just pick 2 of these cards since it wants to. Okay, I like this. So the 2 cards that came out, the one that would actually, I don't even know which would have been the top or the bottom, honestly, but the card that came out was relationship and then the fight card. So I see 2 separate energies. There's like darkness and hot. How can there be heat and darkness when darkness is supposed to be cold and lacking energy? So it's like that contradiction, like I told you with Selena and Benny. They're like polar opposites, but they find a way to work it out. Yeah, I see here in the 2 other sections of the cards that I pulled out, it was a relationship and a fight. So I see that when it comes to this podcast, it's and whether he's playing up for the cameras, I feel as though, yes, just a little bit, sorry, not just a little bit, because hot is not just a little. So because of that, it's a yes, he's playing it up for the cameras. Yes, he's like this behind the scenes, but on camera and on screen, on camera and on screen, he's playing it up just to get antics and more attention and more viewership. Yes, Mama.
Does it work for him or against him?
Right now, at this very moment, it's working against him because I see a lot of swords, I see judgment, I see fighting, and I see darkness. And he came out as the high priestess, which is somebody that is definitely up in their head about if he's doing the right thing moving forward with his antics with this show, with this podcast, I shall say.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I just wanted to check in behind the rumor since everyone is all up in arms about his hygiene. I wanted to look behind all of that and look at him energetically and seeing if this is truly authentic. Yes, it is. But is it authentic to the point where he is being himself on camera, or he's being himself on steroids, if you know what I mean, just being extra for no reason, and it's being extra for no reason, and because of that, it's a bit of a block with him and Selena, because it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you being performative? Why are you trying to do this for the cameras when you don't have to do this? You don't have to stoop to this level. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on Benny Blanco and his authenticity when it comes to his podcast, Friends Keep Secrets. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed that. And even just with that, it's a really thought out name. Friends, true friends, keep secrets. And you can be yourself around your friends. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on Benny. I sure did. Leave your comments down below if you have any questions, or if you want to add anything. How do you feel about Benny? Do you feel like Benny and Selena are a perfect match? Do you feel like they're a mismatch? Do you think that they're odd? Let me know down below in the comments. And with that being said, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and become a beautiful sunflower and spread those beautiful sunflower seeds and positivity even towards Benny Blanco and his podcast. Let's see what he has to offer, and let's not just be turned off by the fact we saw some dirty feet. So with that being said, I will see you.
And a fart.
And a fart, true. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. But before I sign off, I just have to say, hype us up. Subscribe to us. Hey. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Sunflowers.